of those kids that always seem to have a smile on her face, which you can see in this YouTube video. That's how friends are describing 15-year-old Hadiya Pendleton, the latest innocent victim of gun violence in the city of Chicago. Hadiya had just returned from the inauguration in Washington, where she performed with her high school majorette team. Jada Aiken is the girl next to Hadiya in this team photo.
It was a good trip. Like I said, she was real happy on the trip. She was a nice person. She smiled all the time. She never frowned. She was never mad. She was never sad.
On Tuesday afternoon, Hadiya had just finished a final exam and was with a group of friends avoiding the rain under this park shelter. Witnesses say a gunman came out from behind this fence and started shooting. The park where she was killed is 1 mile from President Obama's home in Chicago.
The President and First Lady's thoughts and prayers are with the family of Hadiya Pendleton. All of our thoughts and prayers are with her family. And as the President has said, we will never be able to eradicate every act of evil in this country, but if we can save even one child's life, we have an obligation.
Congressional investigators say the U.S. Attorney's Office in Arizona sought to conceal a link between their controversial gun-walking operation known as Fast and Furious and the death of Border Patrol agent Brian Terry. Terry was murdered in Arizona near the U.S. border last December. 2 assault rifles ATF allegedly allowed onto the street in Fast and Furious were found at the scene. But the U.S. Attorney's Office, working both the Terry murder and Fast and Furious, allegedly sought to hide the connection. That's according to 2 Republican members of Congress, Charles Grassley and Darrell Issa. In a letter, they write, in the hours after Agent Terry's death, the lead prosecutor on Fast and Furious, Emory Hurley, apparently contemplated the connection between the 2 cases and sought to prevent the connection from being disclosed. An internal ATF email dated the day after Terry's death reveals the quick decision not to disclose the source of the weapons found at the murder scene. Quote, this way we do not divulge our current case, Fast and Furious, or the Border Patrol shooting case.
First of all, I did not authorize it. Eric Holder, the Attorney General, did not authorize it.
The President claims he knew nothing about the federal operation that sent thousands of guns to Mexico. But for the first time, congressional investigators say they have evidence the White House did. At least 3 of President Obama's national security advisors were told about the operation.
If they're advisors to the President on national security, why wouldn't they be telling the President about important information in our relationship with Mexico?
Republican Senator Charles Grassley's co-investigator, GOP Congressman Darrell Issa, also says the administration knows more than it's letting on.
We have confidential sources that have shown us why the administration's representatives knew these weapons were going to the cartels. Not mostly, not maybe, but virtually all of them.
The White House insists, however, it did not know the guns were actually going to Mexico. Emails also show the U.S. Attorney's Office in Arizona knew almost immediately. Guns recovered at the murder scene of Border Patrol agent Brian Terry were purchased by Fast and Furious suspect Jaime Avila. But officials allegedly tried to cover it up. According to a letter from Issa and Grassley, quote, in the hours after Agent Terry's death, an assistant U.S. attorney tried to prevent the connection from being disclosed. They say the ATF could have arrested Avila almost a year before he purchased the murder weapon and dozens of other guns. But it chose not to.
Everybody in America should be outraged. They were used as collateral. They could have cared less that guns were being handed to criminals, to people that could not have them. And they didn't take into account our lives, the Mexican people's lives, our property, and our safety.
This is insanity that our own government has given guns to criminals. And this isn't going to be the end of it. There's going to be stories this year and future years where local deputies or police officers in my state, maybe others, you're talking 1,500 at least, maybe 2,500 guns that are given to vicious criminals. And then they have the audacity to turn around and start blaming America yet again for this problem and the violence in Mexico, and then try to infringe our Second Amendment rights to bear arms, saying we're to blame for all these problems. And lo and behold, it's the president, it's Eric Holder, it's Dennis Burke here. People have to be held accountable. People need to resign. People need to be fired for this. And possible, not just an investigation, possible charges against them for putting guns into the hands of criminals that we're fighting, and then good guys, our protectors, our heroes in law enforcement, are the victims and being killed.